everyone, in this video I will show you my minimalistic yearly bullet journal setup for 2022. The main colors I'll be using are black and gold, with gray and blue in some places. It's a very minimal palette, and if you feel inspired to replicate it in your bullet journals in some way, you can just use black, gold, and a regular gray pencil, and not much will change in the overall final look. To start with, I'm writing 2022, the cover page of the setup. I looked through different fonts, and the one I chose to copy is called Glacial Indifference, which has a very precise and clean look to it. I used the paper transfer method to copy the digits onto the paper easier. Under the 2022, I'm drawing a piece of pottery using watercolor pencils. When I was thinking about the theme for the journal, I got inspired by an old Japanese tradition called Kintsugi or Kintsugi. The literal translation of Kintsugi means to join with gold. This is a Buddhist approach to repairing ceramics. The Buddhist belief ceramic articles that are broken shouldn't just be discarded, but instead given a new life by mending the broken pieces together using gold or in some cases silver lacquer. By putting that much care and attention into the broken object, its value and beauty increases and it's given a new life. Showing appreciation to objects that have aged and have history makes each object even more unique and beautiful. And this philosophy further extends to people's lives, which is why I chose it as a theme for my 2022 journal. Most people are striving for perfection, but life in reality is anything but perfect. This beautiful and meaningful tradition is filled with so much wisdom and can be viewed as a metaphor for embracing inevitable change, but also our flaws and imperfections. I'm using only one pencil for this drawing, and the name of the color is called Charcoal Gray. It's from the Derwent Inktense Pencils collection, and it's a watercolor pencil. So after I'm finished with all of the shading, I'm going over the sketch with a brush with a little bit of water on it. I'm carefully blending the color while trying not to blend too much at the same time, as that would undo some of the shading work I did earlier. It helps to often dip my brush into the water, especially when I'm blending the highlighted parts. Above the broken and repaired piece, I wrote the term Kintsugi, and underneath it, the meaning of the term, which is to repair with gold, the art of repairing pottery with gold lacquer and understanding that the object is more beautiful for having been broken. I wrote half of it on the first page, and I'm going to finish it at the end of my yearly setup, as you'll see later. And now it's time for the fun part of decorating this page, which is adding the golden details. For the purpose, I'm using a Sakura metallic jelly roll pen in the color gold, and I'm carefully placing golden lines that are supposed to replicate the golden lacquer which is used to mend the broken pieces back together. Finally, I decided to also add some golden details on the 2022 digits to tie it all together. Next is my year at a glance page. I think it's nice to have the full calendar at the beginning of the journal, and I'm going to use it to mark just the birthday dates of friends and family so that I can quickly check each month and make sure that I don't forget anyone important. I'm writing the names of the months with my trusty black Sakura fine liner. Underneath them, I'm using a dark gray blue marker to draw a rectangle under each month. This marker actually bled through the page a little bit. It's the only one I forgot to test, unfortunately. The last page of this journal is dedicated for pen testing only, which comes in handy. My suggestion is to always test your markers before using them in your journal, because it's really frustrating when you realize too late that some pen or marker you've used has bled through the page. On top of the marker, with a white Sakura gel pen 08, I'm writing the first letter of the 7 days of the week. I've seen a lot of people use these white pens, and I have to say they are indeed very nice and pigmented. Also good for fixing mistakes you've made in your journal. The next pages are for my future log. I was trying to come up with a slightly different decoration that would match the overall idea of the setup. I just didn't want to draw broken ceramics everywhere, so I ended up drawing these ginkgo biloba leaves using just a black fine liner. I drew 1 or 2 lines on top of each leaf to seem as if it has been broken and then mended together with gold, and I thought it turned out quite nice. Finally, I added a few black and gold dots in order to fill the blank space between the leaves. After my mistake with the blue marker, I decided to stick to my black Sakura fine liner and white Jelly Roll pen for the rest of the future log. There isn't much space left under each month for notes, but I am planning on using the future log just for main or important events that I have planned. Next, I'm working on my goals page. I'm copying the Glacial Indifference font here as well, as with any of the bigger headers you'll see in this setup. On both sides of the word, I drew a ginkgo biloba leaf to keep things consistent. For each individual goal, I wanted to draw a dedicated space so that it will immediately grab my attention when I'm flipping through my journal. I'm using the watercolor pencils again here. The two colors are charcoal gray and deep indigo. Just covering half of the line gray and the other half blue, and after that using a little bit of water to blend the two colors together. I like that the lines didn't come out uniform, but instead some lines have a slightly washed out look, which I really like. If you're wondering, the watercolor pencils didn't bleed at all, so if you decide to use watercolor pencils as well, I think it's perfectly fine as long as you don't use too much water. The journal I'm using is from the brand called Scribbles That Matter, in case you're wondering and want to use the same one. Finally, I drew a gold box in front of each line so that I can hopefully check each box as I go, and at the end of the year I can come back and reevaluate and see how many boxes I've checked. Since one of my biggest goals this year is actually weight loss, and I'm quite serious about it, I decided to have a weight loss milestones award system. page where for each 2 kilos lost, I have a little reward to signify the small win. I think it's a good idea to celebrate each small win along the way, because losing a bit more than 10 kilos in a slow and steady fashion is it's not that much, but in my case it would probably take a little bit less than a year according to my plan. So since it's going to take me close to a year to complete the overall big goal, I wanted to keep myself motivated along the way. So I hope this additional push will help me succeed long term, because for me personally, I can rely on motivation to keep me going for the first 3-4 kilograms, but after that, my strong motivation starts to fade away. So I'm hoping to counteract that with this system. And since I'm finishing the description of the term on this page, I decided to draw a few broken and repaired objects at the bottom of the page. I call the next page just tasks. Here I'm just going to write something that is on my mind that I have to do but I haven't scheduled yet and doesn't have to get done immediately. So I can come back to this list and see, okay, is there something I need to do but I haven't done yet, as well as just put future tasks that I haven't found the time to complete yet. Okay, now we have come to almost the end of the video. It's time for the final flip through. I'm really pleased with how the setup turned out. I hope 2022 is good to us, and let's see what it brings our way. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.